Hi, I'm DJ 3W, and you are watching Kingdom Minded with 3W. I'm so excited. This is my first show, and so you are so welcome to join us every time that we're on. We're going to be on every Saturday, every second Saturday of the month, right here on Gospel Peoria TV. And you can follow me on Twitter at DJ3W_KMS if you'd like to. But I'm excited. I'm stoked. Our first guest ever. I guess let me tell you a little bit about the show. So, like I said, my name is DJ 3W, and the show is going to be basically kind of the travels that I do, and people that I meet, and people that I recognize, and I just want to give them a platform to share what they're about and how they're glorifying God through this as well. So let's just jump right in. I've got Logan Tuley-Tillman. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. It's blessed to be here. Appreciate you guys having me.
Man, it's a pleasure to have you here today. I've been watching on Facebook and different places, and you've been doing a lot of great things. There's a number of people here in Peoria. The reason I asked you to come on the show today is because along with you and some others, I've just seen a lot of positivity, and I wanted to just at least bring some of that to the light and let people see that.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it so much, and it's funny you say that because, there's so much bad that people say about Peoria, but I feel like just with my position and my privilege and how much I've been blessed with, I have to bring that light, to let somebody know that somebody from here, who's came from nothing, who's battled as much adversity as you can even think of, was there, done it, and is still continuing to, try to come back and help others build.
Yeah, excellent. So we're going to go ahead and jump into some information here. We don't want to give people too much information in the beginning of the show. So we got, I just want to, some people might not know who you are. Can you tell us just a little about yourself?
Yeah, well, my name is Logan Tuley-Tillman. I'm from here in Peoria, Illinois. The best hat I feel like I wear is, public servant. Mm-hmm. And besides that, I'm a professional athlete, motivational speaker. Mm-hmm. I was with the Niners last for camp and got cut, so I'm just waiting to see where I'll be at next. But I played my college football at University of Michigan, played there, graduated in 3 years, went off to Akron for a year, started a master's, and then finished up at UTEP, University of Texas, El Paso.
Okay, awesome. So sitting here with a pro athlete, that's that's dope. So
it's just like a fancy janitor though, for real, because I play offensive line, and our job is just to get in the way. Okay. So tell me the top 3 left tackles in the NFL.
Oh man,
and it's fine because nobody really can. So that's kind of like legit being a fancy janitor. But I take a lot of pride in it. It's a fun position to play.
Okay, that's cool. So let me see. So you're from here in Peoria. What church do you go to? Kind of who are some of your leaders, man? If you want to give them a shout out.
Yeah, well, I always call myself, an independent contractor for the Lord. I always love going different places and traveling. My home church is New Freedom, but I attend most services and do a lot of work in the community right there at Sovereign Grace Baptist with Pastor Alvin Riley. Okay. Yeah, it's been a mentor for a long time for me. And then the best thing about Peoria that I always talk about and why I'm back here is that, this is the place that made me who I am, and it wasn't just 2 or 3 people. It was a community of people, that gathered around me and really came to me instead of me having to go to them, So it was been a blessing. And there's so many mentors that I've had in my life, the biggest ones are ones that are still doing it, that are the ones in the shadows, you know what I mean? Like, my godfather, Chris Collins, my father, and everyone that has attributed something to where I'm at now. I always try to give them some of the light, all my coaches, and it's just so many. And that's why I feel like my position now is so vital because I've done so much stuff, and experienced so many things, but that information means nothing if you don't share it, you know what I mean? Right. Like the University of Michigan to a lot of people is the #1 university on the globe. And I always tell kids that I'm severely dyslexic. School was difficult, so me being able to be there is just a testimony that you can, you will, you must,
Yeah. Okay, excellent. So do you mind sharing a little bit of your testimony here? Yeah. I know you usually do when you do your speeches with the kids and with the different places. Yeah, well, I mean, just the grace of God is so good. And I had that in one of the videos I posted today on Facebook because, like, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be nowhere near the position I'm in now, because I started from Peoria, single mother household.
Got a bunch of siblings, a whole bunch of them, nieces and all that good stuff. But went to Manual, was able to be an All-American on the 0-9 team. And that's just from him guiding me, pushing me to the places I need to be in.
Yeah, All-American on an 0-9 team.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
I mean, and that's, back to Coach Cagle, Coach Bowser, all those guys that put me where I need to be. But I feel like the biggest testimonies I have come from failing, and that's where, Failures Never Final comes from. When I was at the point when I went from, playing on ESPN to, living in my car, like that's the only place I have to, like, sleep at, and then couch surfing with teammates. Him keeping his hands over me and, his coverage over me, going through that. And beyond that, just trying to always get closer to him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the first thing that I always think of anytime I go anywhere is just giving him the grace, because like this show today, it's going to affect somebody that we haven't even met yet, and that's why just being a vessel for him is one of the biggest things I try to be.
Okay.
Like, because, playing at Michigan was awesome. 115,000 my freshman year,
Yeah.
Playing against Utah, sold out stadium was nice, Playing at Akron, shutting down TJ Watt in Kent Randall Stadium was nice and all that.
Yeah.
But I feel like the biggest testimonies come from the breakthroughs with, like, the people here, what I mean? The kids that are inspired by it. For example, one of the kids in my foundation is Deshaun Wesley Parker, as I call him. We went to the Chicago Youth Awards through the Jeremy Skullock Foundation, and it was amazing. He was able to meet a black doctor, you know what I mean? Some people in the community that were doing things. And we were leaving, he told me that I want to start my own foundation.
Wow.
Yeah, and besides just making his own foundation, he had a plan of action. He wants to go to some of the nursing homes and, and feed them. And I heard last week he did it on his own.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So just being able to be that light and pour into people here is what I feel is important. You know what I mean? And I feel in my heart, I'll be blessed to get picked up by another team. But the nice thing about that is all the residual that will come from, like all my cousins, all my nieces that will see somebody from here who's had all these challenges, all this adversity, and made these mistakes can still win by keeping God first.
Okay. So you mentioned that actually is a good segue to my next question. I've seen some of your workout videos when you go on Facebook, and so you're still striving to go get back to an NFL team?
Yeah, I mean, and the thing that's so nice too is that there's not a lot of 6'5", 300-pound guys that can stay in the way for a little bit, so the quarterback can get the ball off. So I'm pretty confident I'll be somewhere.
Okay.
I mean, then I have a real nice agent who's doing his job to get me somewhere too. So it's still there. And then after the football season, if I don't get picked up, there's a lot of new leagues starting, like the AAFL and the XFL. So there's a lot of opportunity to actually make a decent living with football still. So just excited. Got to keep walking to my purpose and being prepared.
Right. And that's how that's kind of one of the things that I was going to ask about, like how you've seen God move in football through the football career, because I definitely want to talk about failures never final. Yeah. But that's an interesting topic.
Yeah, and I feel like one of the biggest testimonies, I didn't get a chance to hear this earlier, just came to me, is when I was in, Akron, Ohio. I played my heart out, you know what I mean? I did everything I need to do to have a good season. Then I go to the doctor, and he says, "Logan, I don't think you should declare this year. You have a torn labrum." So I'm like, wow, I did everything I could, you know what I mean? Played well too, to be considered. So I get knocked down there, but then I meet with my old coach, Jim Harbaugh, and he invites me back to the team at Michigan. Okay. So I'm thinking, oh, great, going back, big house again, you know what I mean? It's going to be lit, but that doesn't happen. So now I'm in Ohio, and I was engaged to a young lady, and it didn't work out, for mutual reasons, but I'm by myself. And so I go from being on this team, getting a scholarship check, to getting nothing. Okay. And I'm working at a gym making $8.75 an hour. And then, so I obviously can't afford my rent. I can't stay where I live anymore. So I moved to an abandoned dope house. And I'm there, roaches and rats is like my third cousins. It's so ran down. And like when I tell you legit, like holes in the ceiling. But the things I got from that is being faithful over few. And then there was one night, I remember being just so ran down and just having one of the most honest, ugly prayers I've ever had. And then, 2.5 weeks later, I get a call that I'm going to head off to the University of Texas at El Paso to play ball again. Wow. And now I'm eating every day. And now I'm in a position to be again. Yeah. And that's why when I get a chance to mentor young men, I always let them know that the process is more important than the product. So me being broken down like that, me going through all the adversity, even the adversity back at Michigan, molded me to be the man I am now, to walk in the purpose. Right. And so just getting that phone call, I thought, wow, like the power of him is real, you know, and it's not about me, it's about him. And I feel like in the speaking game now, you know, a lot of things are washed down because it's all about me, I, but it's not about him. And granted, you know, this is the instant gratification era, you know, with social media and stuff like that. So people want a lot of one-liners and quick hitters. But the thing that is always evident through anything that I've been able to do is him.
Yeah, he's faithful.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
faithful. So, and I think you just talked about the kind of the humbling moment. You know, you just talked about that. That was going to be one of my questions. So, is that when did failures never final? You know, when did that when did that get birthed?
Well, really, the inception of it was, so I go through a situation I feel like is unfair, but shouldn't have been involved with it, so I'm not on my team anymore. So granted, at the time, I'm on the boxing team, you know, I'm trying to figure out where I'm about to go to. I can't pay my teammates rent anymore, so I'm driving down, you know, Ann Arbor Saline Road, and I'm thinking, wow, I come from nothing, and now I have a little bit of something. In my mind, I lost it all. So I'm thinking like, man, if I hit this wall 50 miles per hour, all this is over with. And at that moment, something clicked in my head, and I thought of my why. You know what I mean? And that's why I always say my why saved my life, because I realized that if I was to do that, that'd been the most selfish thing you can do, because who's that going to affect? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It may rain for 2 weeks, a day, but it will subside sometime, and something will come in its place. So I feel like at that point, when that strength was brought, and, you know, and I felt like those hands of the Lord say, you have a purpose, and you just have to reach it, and you have to keep going towards it. That's when Failures Never Final came.
Okay.
And I remember just being, you know, down bad and, you know, and depressed. And I came to the realization that you can either do two things, be sad or get motivated. You know what I mean? So at that point, when there's no lifeguard coming, there's no SWAT team coming, you have to be your own light and walk towards his, you know? So then it came, and then, you know, I started rebuilding, you know what I mean? And trying to see how I work and what makes me tick. And that kind of connects to what I was able to study at the University of Michigan, which was public health, you know, homicide and gun violence as it pertains to Black masculinity.
Wow.
And I think more times than not, and you know, in this generation, a lot of young men, they have like this mask on. Like, we're taught to be hyper aggressive. We're taught to act this certain type of way to be accepted, you know, and that's just not true. So me being able to get kind of behind the causation of certain things, you know, why I lost 7 friends due to gun violence, you know, and kind of get to the root of it, was able to find out who I am, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also being able to graduate college too was a big milestone as well.
Right. Right. Excellent. So you're able to get ahead of, you know, you mentioned losing some friends to gun violence, and so with Failures Never Final, you got a chance to get ahead of that. With the next generation.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Well, you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and take a break. If you're watching right now, we're talking with Logan Tuley-Tillman.
Yes, so we're gonna be right back. Don't go nowhere. It's still going on.
Yes.
Bet.
Gospel Peoria. Tune in Saturday nights at 7:30 on Comcast Cable Channel 22. Watch revealing positive information with various topics, people, and arts. Also, be sure to visit our Gospel Peoria TV Facebook and YouTube channel, where you can watch show segments, information, and updates about the program. That's Gospel Peoria TV on Comcast, Saturdays at 7:30 p.m., Channel 22. Now that's television with an innovative touch.
All right, I'm DJ 3W with Kingdom Minded with 3W, and we are back with Logan Tuley-Tillman. Man, I'm enjoying this conversation so far. Really encouraged by just the stories so far, and your testimony so far. And I'm excited about Failures Never Final. And my dude brought I got to call it a Golden State Warriors colored shirt. But
Yes, sir.
I had to get myself a shirt. We're going to talk about the merchandise in a minute. But you know, we talked a little bit about the how it was birthed, and the situation, you know, that really you came out of, with and then the Failures Never Final came to be. So you know, how did you go about getting this started? If there's someone out there who is like, hey, God's given me something, How did it get started? What do you have to do?
Well, just putting the groundwork in, and I've been speaking publicly since probably about 2011. First event I think I did was at Lincoln Middle School. So really, once you know you have something, attack it. You know what I mean? Attack the issue that you want to solve. As it pertains, homicide and gun violence. I did all this study and all these papers. I was able to get my degree, but I thought, what's next? You know what I mean? So when you have an idea, go after it, you know what I mean? And then even with the nonprofit aspect of it, get in the streets, you know what I mean? Get in front of these people and service these people. Because it's not your job to change anyone, but it's your job to service them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So really just get out in front of them and find something and attack that issue.
Okay. Okay. And then just be a servant.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I think we know what it's about, but do you have like a mission statement with the foundation?
Yeah, it's a non-denominational faith-based mentorship group, and that expands into so many things. Like at Sovereign Grace, we had the Back to School Bash Forum, we had the Youth Empowerment Summit, and there's a lot of stuff coming up. My book is going to come out next year called Failures Never Final. You only lose if you quit.
Okay.
And pre-orders for that are going out now. But just so much of it is just trying to use the things that I've been blessed with to share the message that he's put in me, you know what I mean, and bring that fire and bring that intensity to these people that need it, Like in the 61605 zip code, I believe it's about 82% are ran by mothers and grandmothers.
Wow.
So in my mind, we need to empower these kids, and we need to, like I went to the job fair today and try to find some opportunities for these fathers, because when African-American males in general are, disenfranchised and don't have that role and can't play that role, there's a bottom that falls out somewhere, So really just trying to attack the issues that I feel like we can help with.
Okay. Okay. Wow, that's dope. That's some good stuff. So, like, when you wake up in the morning, and I think we've heard your heart already a little bit, but what's the why?
Yeah.
The why for the foundation.
Yeah. The why for the foundation is to help as many kids and adults and people as possible, and just be a servant to the Lord. Okay. And my why in the grand scheme of things is to get to heaven. You know what I mean? So what can I do to keep pleasing him? A lot of times people ask God for a new house, a new car. But in my mind, I think, what can I do for you? Where can I go? Who can I speak to? What can I do to try to spread your love that you've given me? Because without his grace, none of this would have been possible, Yeah. I've been real blessed to go and speak at a lot of places and get a speaking fee for it. And all that goes back into my foundation, back into getting food for them, back into trying to put events on and stuff like that, and just be able to be there for them.
Okay. Okay. And so you mentioned that you've been able to go to a lot of different places, and I've seen that on Facebook, just kind of following, like I said in the beginning, this wave that you're riding, that God is, I just feel like God is providing that. I've seen,
Exactly.
You've been in Lincoln, you've been in the schools, you were in Springfield at the outlet. Shout out to Michael May.
Yeah, big shout out to the outlet.
Michael Philan.
Big shout out.
So I've seen you all over the place.
JDC here in Peoria.
Yeah.
And the superintendent board meeting, at Mayor Artist yesterday. And there's just so many that have been coming up. And also anyone that's interested in me coming out and being a mentor, being a speaker, anything like that, hit me up. I'm around until I get that phone call, and anything and everything that I can do to help out someone in your life or you, let me know. Yeah.
So what did it feel like when, like, the school district, or just some of those places that you usually can't get into as a faith-based place, faith-based ministry, when they first contacted and said, yeah, come on, we want you to come talk to her. What was that feeling inside?
It was just feeling like, man, like all that agony and pain that you felt, it's meant something. Now you got to bring that fire, and the first one that I really, first college I got into was ICC for the Illinois Trio Leadership Summit.
Okay.
And killed it. I had a great time. But before that, I just prayed, like, give me the strength to bring something so like-minded that you would want me to say, you know what I mean, and make it in my own image, and it was fun. And then from that, it's just been like a wave of things that's just been going on. And obviously, like, the community events are nice, but there's so much more, and one thing that with community organizing that I think people need to understand is that speed kills. Like, there's a cheer group that I'm helping starting with somebody that I went to school named Destiny called Jaguars Elite. So shout out to Jaguars Elite, taking over the 99 to 2000s. But stuff like that is important, so don't wait on anybody. You know what I mean? Don't wait for okay from anyone. Go do it once he puts on your heart, and then figure out the logistics, Right. Like, a lot of people say you need more business cards. and I do because I'm handing them all out, but I'm more focused on winning than I am, being formal. You know what I mean?
The administrative end.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got that too, but
Yeah.
for anyone out there that wants to do some community-based or faith-based,
Mm-hmm.
just do it. You know what I mean? Even if it's, there's something called #lunchbag in Chicago where they
Okay.
connect, and they feed the homeless. Like, you can do that on your own.
Yeah.
You can be somebody's everything from just giving 1% of your effort. And just
Mm-hmm.
one big example of that, there was a young man that I mentor through my foundation. He said, man, like sometimes when I go home, I cry when I can't see you. And it's not because I'm a punk. It's because you make me feel like somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And to that for me means more than, any snap being able to play on any football field anywhere. Because with him feeling that way, now he can come back and do that for somebody else.
Yeah.
And now we have something called community. You know what I mean? Now we're building each
Yeah.
other up.
Yeah. And that seed, that seed that you planted, it's going to multiply.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
from that generation, he can affect the next. And
Yeah.
the next. So that's what I thought about when I had been thinking about, just what you and others have been doing. I don't want to just, because there's others too.
A lot of people balling out, doing amazing
Yeah,
stuff.
they're planting seeds. It's gonna just mushroom. I mean,
Exactly.
it's gonna hit this kid. It's gonna hit this kid, and then they're going to affect another. And,
Yeah.
and it can turn into thousands.
I know, and the one, my cousin Carl Holloway had a perfect analogy he used. He said, if we bring 12 people and we inspire 12 people, 12 times 12 times another 12 times another 12, then things are changing. You know what I mean? Because there's probably a population of 12,000 on the south end. So if we all can build ourselves up,
Mm-hmm.
things can change. You know what I mean? Walls can be broken down. That glass ceiling can be broken down.
Yeah, yeah. So cool. Well, so as far as I think we've heard some of the fruit. You've talked about some of the fruit. That's what was going to be one of my questions. Where do you see this going? Do you see this going because I could see it big. I could see it nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it huge. What's your vision for the future of this?
Yeah, well, my vision is to keep building, and like the next thing we're gonna do is a youth empowerment summit in Dallas and Atlanta, and back in South Florida in the Tampa area.
Okay.
So just keep making it big. One of my biggest inspirations and mentors, in the speaking game is Eric Thomas.
Okay.
Dr. Eric Thomas, actually.
Yeah.
And I was real blessed to be able to hear him in 2011 when I was that just kid in Peoria with a basketball, hungry, wondering what's next, you know what I mean? And me being able to hear, when you want as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And applying it and then succeeding from it was amazing. And then the spinoff from that is what's next. Anybody, anywhere, no matter what you do or how you feel or how much you make, you're going to fail at some point. You're not going to be good enough at some point.
Yeah.
But what you become in the process of failing makes you who you are. So I feel like just sharing that message, getting the book out there, and then just being a public servant is the hugest things that I'm just inspired and fired up to do.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Well, I'm so glad to have you in our city and doing this. So as far as the shirts, I know it takes money, and merchandise is probably one way where you can get funding for it. The shirt's dope. I love it. I'm gonna be wearing this when I DJ. I'm telling you right now.
Hey, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Anybody out there that's interested, in sewing into the foundation, we just use Cash App now. It's just the cash sign Logan72. And also, we have merchandise. We have T-shirts, long sleeves, crew necks, hoodies,
it's hoodie
shorts.
season right now.
Yeah, shorts, joggers, and we just launched our windbreakers.
Okay.
So really, any and everything we want it. And the next thing that we're launching, it's exclusive here, is at Manual Academy. We're actually going to be able to sponsor some students with clothing too. So when we sell an outfit, we'll be able to put an outfit on a young man or young woman at Manual Academy. So it's an exciting little pilot program we're putting together for them.
Okay.
Just to share the message,
Yeah, that's dope. So as far as like contact information, man, there's like a question I want to ask. I don't know if it'll take too long though. Based on the education that you've got, that you have, and the specificity, you know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
With like gun violence, and so what, I know there's not just one word answer for it, but is there anything like quick that you're like, hey, if we just did this, things might be better.
Yeah, and I think rebuilding what it means to be a man and what it means to be masculine, you know what I mean? Especially in the African American community. I know growing up, my idols were people that were doing things that weren't legal and, you know, that weren't always attainable for everyone. So I think rebuilding what it means to be a man and letting people know that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to have PTSD from the situation that you come from. So I feel like just having mental health options available and then rebuilding the person from the ground up. I know, because for me, there was a point where I had to take the mask off. You know what I mean? You're a man before anything. You don't have to be, you know, overly aggressive to be seen as okay or not to be messed with. You know what I mean? So just little quick things like that, and obviously education, and then meeting people where they're at and being able to test for learning disabilities. Because if I'm in school, I'm hungry, and I have a learning disability, it's almost impossible for me or anyone around me to learn.
Right. Okay. Okay, that's good. All right. Well, man, I've enjoyed talking with you today.
Me too.
So why don't you let everybody know where they can, just your contact information, where they can follow you, where they can find information if they want to book you, that kind of
Awesome.
stuff.
Yeah, well, Facebook.com/Failures Never Final. Shout out to my mom, Angela Tuley, love you to death. She about to drop my niece off my mind going to Tanner's Orchard for the 21st Century program at Manual. So we got a shout out to mom. Shout out to 21st Century and all my kids at Manual. But Facebook, Logan Tuley-Tillman, LOGANTULEY. On Instagram, Logan TT72. If you want to email, if that's more of your deal, just Logan, LOGANTT72 @gmail.com. And on Twitter, @LoganTillman.
Okay. All right. And where can people find merchandise if they want to get some merch?
Yeah, if you want to get some merch, Failures Never Final on Facebook, Facebook.com/Failures Never Final. Any and everything you want in there. Send them a message, send me a message. We're all connected. We'll get whatever you need. We'll send it out to you. And we'll also, new thing too is Champions for Change. We're making all our certificates and all that. So we're going to be sending those out electronically and in the mail.
Okay. Awesome. Well, man, I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it's been to sit down and talk with you in person. It's one thing to see people doing things on Facebook and you're like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. It's been great talking with you.
My pleasure. It's a blessing. Thank you all so much.
And I'm looking
Shout out to all
forward-
my man, your Rams. We out here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do in the future. So
Thank you so much.
So we've come to the end of the show, and I want to thank everybody for watching. This is our very first episode of Kingdom Minded with 3W, and it's been an absolute joy. We look forward to doing many, many, many more episodes right here on Gospel Peoria TV. So if you need anything, email kingdommindеdradio@gmail.com. That's my email address, and we'll see you later.
Thank you.